All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Ouran High School Host Club, episode 16.
The childhood friend appears.
Tamaki.
What will you do?
He's going to Tamaki all over this boy.
No.
That is the final technique. He can't use that here. I don't know if that would even be strong enough because
or more like Ouran.
There we go.
Yeah.
But there's some past history with Haruhi potentially, and I get the feeling that this boy is a bit less extreme, shall we say, than the host club members.
More well-mannered, balanced.
Yeah.
In general,
rather vanilla. I would not be surprised if Renga just appeared out of the ground at this bed and breakfast with her usual contraption.
Yes, exactly.
And specifically
called out this trope of the childhood friend. The security, the safety, the consistency, the, you've grown into such a handsome young man. Yes.
Yep.
And of course it would be outside of school because her network is infinite. It covers all of Japan.
Oh, yes.
To anywhere the hearts of those that desire the deconstruction of stories and narrative.
Elon Musk's Boring Company actually has brought her on as a consultant for getting tunnels just everywhere in the world.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So it wasn't a recruitment thing where like the power of her desire to deconstruct tropes like bored its way into people's hearts and minds.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay, not yet. Gotcha. Oh, that's the thing with the gotcha. All right. Well, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Separated from the friend group.
She remembered.
Wow. I love it. Oh.
Wait, and Hikaru?
Wait.
Hamster. I am the hamster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
面白いな、オーランの人って。さっきから妙に絡むな。
つーかさ、そいつあからさまに春日に気があんじゃん。見え見えでなんか嫌な感じ。
ちょっとヒカル、さっきから感じ悪いのそっちじゃん。
ああ、いいよいいよ。
It's actually really impressive that she called him out as Hikaru from that far away.
でも俺すでに振られてんだけどね。
Oh!
なぜお前が驚く？
Yeah.
いやだって。
Oh, he said it out loud, probably.
もう1年ぐらい。
Oh, that's not long ago. That is not long ago.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
聞いたよ。オーランの特待生試験受けるんだって。
Yeah, she's a genius.
でもてっきり東高行くんだと思ってたからさ。
Oh.
東高も一緒に受けるよ。オーラン受かるかわかんないし。
いや、でも応援しなきゃね。
Okay.
同じ高校行けたらって思ってたけど。
Yeah, what a sweet guy.
くれればよかったのに。
Oh.
それって
オーランの特待生枠って一人じゃなかったと思うよ。
そっちか。
Yeah.
藤岡。あの付き合ってほしいんだけど。
私も願書の締め切り確認したいし、一緒に職員室行こ
う。Wow. Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
いえ、だからそういう意味とは全く。
Look at this cops and the tuck she is.
ごめんなさい。
1 year later.
改めて振られてんの俺。いや、いいよもう吹っ切れてるし。
Definitely.
興味なかったってことだし。けど俺は。
Yeah, don't lie here. Don't lie.
すごく遠くを見つめてる目とか、話すとき相手をまっすぐ見るとことか。
Oh, cool.
そういうのずっといいなって思ってたんだ。
A fellow fan! Oh my god.
After all, I am her father acquaintance, you know? Tamaki.
つーかばっかじゃないの。 なんでそんな過去の話とか聞いて盛り上がれるのか意味わかんない。そいつもさ、春日に相手にされてないってわかんないわけ。春日の中に
You're gonna get
お前が
slapped.
入る場所なんてないっつうの。
Yep. Bah. Yeah. Yeah.
そんなのヒカルが決めることじゃないよ。
Exactly.
人の友達にこれ以上失礼なことするなら許さないから。
Yeah, way to go, Haruhi.
他のやつのことなんてどうでもいいだろう。お前の友達は俺らじゃんか。
I like this. The twins are showing their big differences here.
Yep.
Cool, cool, good drama. Let's stoke this fire.
まだ
Yes.
まだ世界が狭いな。
A little, but you know, they're willing to change probably.
悪かった。ごめん。
うん、いいって。じゃあな、藤岡。みんなもまた。
No.
Now I'm very curious how this will
Tiger
result
changes
in.
nothing.
Yeah.
なんでヒカルのふりしてるわ
Oh,
け？
ah!
ちょっとほっぺたの傷は。
Wow! Wow!
Oh my
That's-
god.
That's genius.
That is incredible. I love it.
I should have been able to tell by the voices.
Yeah.
They're very clearly
僕
different.
とデートしてくんない？
What?
Wait.
Wait.
Oh
but
my God.
Is Hikaru's date or Kaoru's date?
No, but
then?
he's gonna swap again.
春日と待ち合わせしてたんだけど風邪ひいちゃったみたいで
大丈夫なの？
ヒカルが代わりに行ってきて
え？
今日は夕方まで春日の話
Wow.
エスコートすること
Wow.
もうヒカルとは口聞かないから
Oh my god. This is
そりゃできる。
That is amazing. I love it.
なんだろう。
what a brother. Oh my
Yeah.
こ
god.
れまでちゃんと他人と付き合ったことないだろヒカルはいいよく聞いてお互いの気持
Yeah.
ちとかは
The
言わなきゃ相手
absolute
に伝わ
bro.
らない
Yes.
何考えてんだ。
どうしよう。帰る？
今日は僕が代理で付き合うから。
She's so dolled up. What?
Yeah.
What is all this?
いや。
What is all this?
なんで春日をヒカルなんかとデートさせにゃならんのだ。昨日の流れでなんでこういう展開になる。
はるちゃん初デートかもしれないね。
一体何なんだあの格好は。超可愛い。もう超可愛い。
でもヒカルは自覚ないみたいだけど春日のことはかなり気に入ってる
Very.
Yep. And
自分の感情を押し付けるやり方しか知らないから
right.
子供じみた
Because he doesn't
独占欲
understand his own feelings.
Yep.
お前の友達は俺らじゃんか。
おもちゃじゃなくて本当の友達にな
Yeah,
りたい
good. The comparison to toys is a very good one. Yeah, yeah.
そういうちゃんとした他人との付き合い方ってのヒカルはきっちり学ばなきゃいけないって思うわけ
Yeah, Kaoru, the wise sage.
ヒカル
Indeed.
に相手を思いやる気持ちを芽生えさせる試練なわけか。
だから絶対に邪魔しないでよね
なら尾行などしなければいいのでは。
いやだって
Oh, yeah.
面白いこと見ないではないじゃん
I love it. I love it.
Keeping it all in balance.
Yep.
We are still devils, though.
Exactly.
なんていう気なんだ。ミスミスしようってそれでもホスト部員か。
Right, exactly. Switch with me.
ないって。じゃあ今日が春日に絡むチンピラの役やってこい。そこを
Make like a punk.
寝言は寝て言え。
Oh my god.
You are shitting me. Yeah.
やめとけ。
Don't.
一口お先にどうぞ。
Ooh, it looks homemade.
まずかったら罰ゲームな。
Yeah, let there be an indirect kiss. Yeah.
せっかくいい感じだったのに何邪魔してんの
若者あんなカップル食い
Yeah, the actual.
uh-huh.
Yeah, you are exactly right. Wow.
なんでわかんの。カオルのことでイライラしてるって。
適当。
Yeah, yeah.
行こ
And she's specifically doing things that'll make him have more fun.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
sweet. Look,
All
but you
right.
need to.
目を離した隙にいい
Yeah.
感じじゃん
Yeah, yeah.
ヒカルがエスコートしてるのかは怪しい。
That is true. That is true. But that's okay.
う。混ぜたのかね。
いや、違うだろ。
あれ藤岡
Uh-oh.
何してんの
Oh no.
新
He
井
just
君こそどうし
froze.
たの？
He just
いや
absolutely
ここがおじさんの
froze.
店なんだ。何買い物
うん。でももう帰るとこ。
Oh
じゃあ
no. Don't.
うちの車で送ってってやるよ。 おじさんに頼んでやる。
Hikaru!
いいんだよタクシー拾うから。
タクシー代もったいないって。
Oh.
Thunder. Oh, shoot. Oh, and she's really
Yeah,
scared.
she's really scared of thunder. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
好きにしろって言ってんの。そんで仲良く昔話でも何でもすりゃいいじゃん。
ヒカル。
またか。
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him
そんなに
drink.
昔の友達とか嫌なのかな。自分にだっているだろうに。
Okay, okay, okay.
Alright, now we don't see Tamaki here.
Yes. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, yeah, because he knows that she's terrified of these. Wow.
The music. So he doesn't notice that his phone is going off. Oh, wait, no. That was the phone.
ちょうどよかった。車回してくんない？タクシーが捕まらなくて。
バカ野郎！いいからすぐに引き返して春日を探せ。
Yeah.
こんな雨の中、女の子を一人置いてくるやつがあるか。春日は雷が怖いんだ。雷になると怯えて動けなくなるんだぞ。一人前に焼きもち焼く前に。
Yeah.
相手のことをもっと考えろ。
Way to go. Way to go.
Yeah.
そんなの言われなきゃ知るわけないじゃん。
雷雨とかじゃなきゃいいんだけど。今なんか鳴った？
Yep.
じゃあお願いしよ
Yeah,
うか。
she was trying to tell you.
But you weren't
Multiple
listening.
times. You weren't listening. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
なんでわかるかバカ。
Just like the confession, you know?
Sure.
Arai from Arai. She wasn't. How is she's supposed to be able to tell from that
Yeah.
you know he was in love with her? Yeah. All right, Hikaru. This is your moment. You screwed it up, but you can make it a lot better here. Oh.
春日。いいの春日。なんでわかんの。薫のことでイライラしてるって。
適当。
Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Oh, sweet.
ごめん。
Oh, sweet.
一人置き去りにしちゃって。
Oh.
Okay.
大事
All
な
right.
友達に。
That's a perfect way to do this. Oh.
And what I love about this,
ありがとう
yeah.
Yeah.
ヒカル。
She doesn't even necessarily hear him.
Nope.
No.
Nope. Ah, there we go.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful day for rain.
Oh.
That was great.
That was really sweet.
That was so sweet.
Oh.
新井くん。
はい。
ありがとう。
ところで昨日のデート作戦、勢い余って恋愛感情が芽生える可能性とかは考えなかった。
Huh?
それはまだ早いでしょ。ヒカル、バカだしね。
おい、スイカ
Wait.
割りスイカ割り。
Wait.
ま、
Wait.
バカが多いからな、うちの部は。
Wait.
Yeah.
But he was the one with the Band-Aid on up there.
Yeah, that's Kaoru. Yeah.
But Hikaru was the one that got slapped.
No. The scratch was from something else. And then
Oh,
that's,
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, okay.
But that's something where now we have it confirmed that Kaoru also likes Haruhi. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it was kind of obvious before now, but yeah.
Right. But,
But that was great.
yeah.
That was great.
That was really sweet.
Like, oh man, the things that he used to shut himself out with the headphones, then be the thing that help out, and then she doesn't even hear his actual apology, but
Nope.
it doesn't matter because he does it for himself,
Right,
because that's
yeah.
what's important.
Right.
And then she thanks him for everything that he did. That's completely separate from his apology. Ooh.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Okay.
Oh, this was a really good episode.
This was a really good episode.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
one, I really appreciate that we got more twin focus. I love it. And the fact that like the twins are really now at this point where it's like, all right,
They're fleshed out individual characters.
they're fleshed out as individuals, right?
Yep,
To the point where we can get individual twin focus,
Right,
you know,
which is really
rather
cool.
than just combo focus.
Exactly, yeah.
I also gotta say, I gotta give major props to this show for this being one of my favorite examples that I can recall of the sort of the vanilla other guy, you know, or other romantic interest potentially being introduced to cause conflict, because usually when that happens, it can feel very melodramatic because then there's the whole question of, oh, does the person, the guy or the girl, like this new person that's introduced?
Right.
And because they're being introduced right here, it's like, okay, come on. Like, other than the exploration that could be something that would happen, it's not actually going to have much bearing on the overarching conflict of the show.
Right.
But in this episode, the way they did it was instead it wasn't actually about that conflict. Right. It was about how it revealed certain insecurities and fears and immaturities of the people around them, and then using that as a way to exploit it and then get it resolved so that then the characters can come closer together.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah,
because,
me too.
Because that's usually one of the biggest issues also that I have with when the other romantic interest comes in, is that oftentimes, especially if it's in some sort of high school setting or whatever, that brings out all kinds of immaturities from the characters. And the Ouran host club, most of them are not very mature, right? So when you want to get into serious romantic conflict, it makes sense that would come up. But you can't just let that go. You can't like yes, maybe, the characters learn to understand it, but you've got to fix that if you want them to actually get closer to a potential relationship.
Right.
So here you go.
And of the twins, having basically one of them be the one that's a little bit more immediately reactionary and kind of brash with their emotions and stuff. It doesn't mean that the other one, Hikaru, is immediately just more mature. I mean, he is more mature just in general, but there is an aspect of this of where he basically got to watch his brother mess up.
Sure.
And kind of just was like, well, that's definitely not what you're supposed to do here.
Right, exactly.
And what we got out of this as the audience is a really cool, like you were saying, a twist on this whole usual dynamic where Renga does not show up.
Nope.
Because this is not the usual trope here.
It's not about Arai.
It's not about Arai, and it's not even about romance, really.
No.
This is the really cool part about this. It's about communication.
Right.
Arai had an assumption that he made about Haruhi.
Yeah.
Because when he was so flustered and thinking like, oh, I'm never going to see
all in
her
a tizzy.
again. She's going to go to some fancy-do academy. And
I can't get in. Like, there's no way I'd be able to do that.
I have to confess to her now. So he doesn't even confess. He just states that he would really like to be with her in high school. And she's like, well,
that'd be great.
I think if you apply for the, honor student thing, you might get in. It's not just for one person.
She does the natural thing of, I also have my own life and things that I want to do. I'm not going to, sacrifice that because of this, but that would be great if we went to the same school, and I would think and hope that, it's that there's no hard feelings about that fact, right?
Right.
It would be the same if you were in my position, right?
Exactly. And the read between the lines kind of thing is definitely there.
Sure.
But you can't count on people to always be perfectly aware to read the subtleties in communication.
Especially depending on how important it is to you that it be communicated.
And if you're the initiator of the communication.
Oh, that too.
This is another thing that I feel like a lot of people don't do as much, and it's really passive-aggressive when they do it. I would say the negative way, which is basically the, I need to talk with you about something. And then they respond in a way that you're not really a fan of, and you go, never mind, it doesn't matter anyway. And it's like, wait, what was that?
Sure.
It's like, you're lying, obviously. Something really matters here.
And not in a way of like, no, I don't want to talk about this, but like, sure, I suppose. Like something that is still like, you can, they have given you the permission to talk about it, but, might not be as enthusiastic as you would have liked.
Exactly. So when you're the initiator in communication, it is something where you have the burden of, I would say, making sure the other person understands what you're communicating. Now, it is tough because it takes two to communicate.
Yeah, it takes two to tango. Yeah.
But the way to make it really easy is to just say straight up, outright, exactly what you're feeling or thinking.
Sure.
And then at the very least, as long as they have physical, hearing, then they might actually be able to understand.
There are things that you can do to make it incredibly easy for the communication to happen. However, that oftentimes gets uncomfortable, especially when emotions are involved.
Exactly.
Because vulnerability is a thing, and vulnerability does not necessarily come easily.
Exactly.
So, if you're going to basically do what could be the equivalent of almost taking your clothes off in front of a person, right? You want to make sure that you're not going to get hurt by that, right? And so what ends up happening a lot of the time is that you have to do it. right?
Yep,
you don't
exactly.
actually commit, right? And that can go, that can change. There's a whole spectrum of possible results of what you end up doing. In some cases, it might be something like this, where Arai is positive that he actually confessed and got shot down, but no, he never did.
No, he didn't.
He never did,
No.
right? And, well, actually, no. He did think, okay, you would have said something if you were interested, right?
Which
you
is
would
right.
have responded differently.
Which is right. Yeah, she would have clued in if she was interested. So that assumption was based on some analytical, you know, it was correct, but it could have been wrong.
Well, it could have been wrong, but also even then, even if she didn't like you in that moment, if you guys were friends enough, and then you confess to her, she might then realize, you know what? Okay, I'm, like let's
look into that.
Let's look into this.
Like maybe.
Yeah,
it's a thing where she'd be like, hey, I don't really like have any crazy feelings for you, but I really like you as a friend. So, I mean, like,
maybe she wouldn't
keep
be
in touch over
it.
the summer. Here's
Right.
my number.
Yeah, exactly.
Or what
Maybe
have
you'd
you.
hang
I don't
out
know.
on weekends or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go get ice cream.
Know, right?
Yeah, you never know. Exactly. This is the part that is perfect to have through the lens of one of the twins here, because I have always seen them in a lot of ways as the most kiddish, even more so than Honey.
Yeah,
they are. I would say the youngest, because they're in the same class as Haruhi.
The first years. Yeah.
Whereas I think Kyoya, or is it just Takashi, is the only second year. Tamaki is a third year.
Honey and Takashi are third years, I believe.
Oh, okay. Because I actually thought Takashi was younger. That was the whole joke. Is that Takashi is calling him senpai?
I thought for sure they were in the same.
Okay.
class,
Well, either way, the first years are the twins. The twins are the first years.
Yep.
And given that they're kind of the younger ones there, I would kind of generally assume that they were the least mature.
Sure.
Of everyone there.
Yep.
But it was cool to have that confirmation within this context, because the kid angle of it was something that made sense based on their previous characterization. But they went even more in depth into it by saying that he saw Haruhi as the equivalent of a toy. And this was something that I really, really liked that they went into here, because when Arai came in and basically started interacting with Haruhi, it was basically like a thing of, wait, why are you playing with another toy, Haruhi? You could just play with us. You don't need anyone else. And
very possessive.
Very possessive. And yet it makes perfect sense in the fact that all he's had or needed up until now, or at least he thinks he has, was Karu. And yet he's been with the host club for almost a year.
Yep.
What are they then, Hikaru? That was like my big thing where I'm like, Hikaru, you are way out, like out beyond weeds, out in the weeds here in this one here. And so the fact that she then not only called him out on it, but slapped him back into his senses with this by being like, dude, you crossed the line. So that was another example of where the communication needed to be abrupt, direct, and in a confrontational sense because of the emotion involved here. Right. Haruhi was mad.
Oh yeah.
Like she was like, you are not doing this right, buddy.
One of the things that with anime in particular, because it's got that suspension of disbelief, because you're watching drawn characters, right? And because it's animated, and it's not live action, you have all of like the crazy reactions for things. It's the more exaggerated things are, the easier it is to get responses out of the audience, right?
Yeah.
And that's one of the wonders of the drawn medium, right?
Yeah.
However, when it comes to character writing, there can be certain things that then either you have to suspend your disbelief that that's just normal because we're in an anime, right? And so it's not an issue if a tsundere punches someone in the face for no real reason, right? Or, a guy is really possessive of the girl that he likes because it's anime. But one of the things
that's not an anime thing.
Well, okay.
That's just an immature guy thing.
No, an immature guy thing, but a not being enough of an issue that needs to be addressed because it's played up for gags and kicks and things like that, right? Tamaki, doing the constant sulking thing, right? That is something that is incredibly immature, but because it's funny, we give it a pass, right? And
totally.
If it ever gets to the point where Tamaki ends up actually potentially about to go into a serious relationship with Haruhi, we would want it to be addressed in a similar way to Hikaru's situation here, right? And that's one of the things that I love about Ouran as a show, is that in a similar way that Haruhi, by her very nature, kind of flips a lot of the initial concepts and
she's the straight man.
Right, she's the straight man of the show, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
then a lot of the other things in proximity to Haruhi also get that kind of wonderfully different treatment than I would expect from a rom-com because they are being measured up against the straight man that is Haruhi. So, yeah.
So I need you to sum up what you were saying with that.
Basically, I would not expect an anime to go into this kind of focus on the immaturity of the characters for specific things like this, because most of the time it would be kept to the realm of comedy and not actually done into something where it's being treated seriously.
Gotcha. The reason why they did it for this part here, and this is a unique thing for the show primarily, is that most of the time it is only being done to Haruhi. It is not being done to one of Haruhi's friends outside of the host club. This is the very first time that this instance has happened here. That's why, in a lot of ways, we had that kind of a freak out happen with her dad, where her dad saw Tamaki being close to her, or doing something that could be considered a gag comedy thing, and he's like, nope, I immediately
threw the wall,
I threw it through the wall.
Yeah.
We have never had Haruhi basically have to defend or put up with this in front of other people outside of her dad. And her dad, she's already kind of having to deal with his kind of
it's a very
over the top
complicated
kind
situation,
of character dynamic as
family
well.
history, and all that stuff.
Right. So in this instance here, she's like, no. That's fine if you do that just to me. We have an understanding. We're friends. Right. But if you're going to speak for me in this instance with someone who you have no relationship with, I'm going to stand in the gap here and basically be like, back off, dude. You are acting childish here.
Yep.
So I feel like it's the first instance of this really happening in that kind of dynamic here. Thus, it's not like it's some, like, I would say crazy, like, revolutionary thing, maybe for the medium of this with romantic comedies, but for Ouran, it felt like it was just you thought this was okay, maybe in the host club where it's just us, and I understand that you're a baka, and you're really a bit too attached with the idea of what a friend is. But no, out here, no.
Yeah,
sorry, confrontation time.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. The fact that we got the distinction between Hikaru and Karu doing so much to try and help out his brother, I loved. I also loved that it was something that in the end did not actually resolve the issue, because Karu doing things like trying to apologize for Hikaru and things like that, and setting up the date, and then oh no, I'm so sick, right?
It's funny, but
it's hilarious, right? It's great for comedy and everything, and it's wonderful to show how Kaoru really cares about Hikaru, but it's also an example of how the behavior is enabling, and that it will not make Hikaru actually change and grow, right?
True.
They can have their date and it's all fine because everything's easy, but once that little bit of conflict comes in, and Arai shows up again, Hikaru is immediately back to the way he was.
Yep.
Right? He has not learned any lesson or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like he has gotten basically rewarded for bad behavior, and Haruhi is was doing her best to kind of like set him up for success and everything, but you can't be dependent on that, right? If Haruhi wants to do that because, hey, she's your friend and and all that stuff, that's her call, right?
Yep.
But you need to be able to pick up for your own slack when it's needed, right? And that's what we ended up getting by the end of the episode, because he didn't, right? He was immature and things like that, and then Tamaki did the thing that was one of my favorite examples of Tamaki's sort of obsessive protectiveness.
Yes.
Of him basically calling Hikaru and telling him off and being like, hey, what the hell are you doing, right?
Go find her.
Here's
the situation.
Yep.
And I loved that it then came all the way back to being a communication episode ultimately, is that she gave him 3 not extremely clear hints.
But they got more and more, obvious as it went on.
Yeah, but this is the point, was that just in the same way that Arai gave what he thought was an obvious hint, Haruhi, who, well, I would say, gave really, really obvious hints for people that were listening. I didn't even notice them as someone who's a passive third-person viewer until the second one.
Right.
And then even then, it was on the third one where I was definitely 100% sure of what was going on.
Right.
So,
Yep.
that being said, communication is not always easy as just being like, I'm going to say things that should give you the idea.
Yes.
Because people are not perfect. And
exactly.
Hikaru, in this instance here, is definitely the immature one in this case.
Yep.
So, you shouldn't be dependent on someone like Hikaru necessarily, Haruhi. I totally get it here. But this is just one of those examples of where he kind of realized, okay, this is what it means to be in a friendship or in a relationship with someone, is to basically give grace to other people so that when they're in that situation, Haruhi was getting scared. We can't necessarily count on her to give perfect communication as direct in those moments there.
Because quite frankly, in the same way that you're not perfect, Hikaru, neither is Haruhi.
Exactly.
And that's, again, why I feel like she makes for the perfect straight man of Ouran.
I agree,
Because it would be easy for her to be the paragon where she has everything figured out, but that's not what she is, right? She is one of the best examples of sort of like the normal girl that I've seen in like anime for sure. But that doesn't mean that it's like she's like truly perfectly normal. Like, you know, if you've ever seen Monogatari, that's actually incredibly unnerving, right? And does not happen often, right?
Right.
But no. So she's got her own problems and issues and things like that. And when it comes to, you know, thunderstorms, everyone has something where that's their weak spot, basically. She doesn't fully communicate as clearly to Hikaru as maybe she normally would, because normally she would know that Hikaru is a bit of a baka and wouldn't pick up on those hints, but all of a sudden she's scared and everything, and she starts leaving hints that a fair amount of people would pick up on before it got to be too bad of a situation eventually, you know? But not Hikaru.
And then her own sympathy and empathy, I would say, it's some mix of that, for Hikaru in this situation caused her to run after him.
Sure.
Which meant she wasn't taking care of herself, knowing her fear of thunderstorms.
Another flaw that we've seen for her before, where she doesn't acknowledge the sort of dangers to herself, whether literal or like physical or emotional or things like that.
Yeah, in this case, definitely just emotional ones, where she's basically not taking care of herself and trusting, basically, that, you know, other people will be able to handle their own stuff there.
It feels very, very like a callback to when she stood up to the guys at the beach on top of the big rock, you know, and there were three of them, and she was just by herself, and then everyone got pissed because they're like, why didn't you also like call for help or, you know, or something, right? In this situation, Hikaru would have been totally fine, you know,
absolutely,
running off, right?
She just felt bad for him,
she
went after him.
Even though she knew a thunderstorm was coming.
Right. And Arai was there offering a car, basically.
Exactly.
So she would have been fine. I think, though, this is the part that makes it a little bit up in the air, but kind of, I don't know, maybe a little bit complicated, is that I don't think she was necessarily comfortable showing her fear regarding thunderstorms to Arai.
Sure, probably not.
Arai had basically said that he was in love with her at the time and said he had gotten over it, and yet he was here kind of acting awkward, so maybe there's an aspect of where she doesn't want to be alone, vulnerable with a guy that she doesn't like, but could definitely still like her, and it just would make her a little bit more comfortable if she was with someone that she, you know, trusts a little bit more, even though he's not necessarily that mature of a guy,
or
even the most dependable. It's someone that she spent a lot more time with recently, so she knows what to expect a bit from Hikaru.
And we can almost guarantee that Arai didn't know about her fear of thunder, because when he made the offer, it was very much like a casual, like courtesy thing, like something that he would do for pretty much anybody that was a friend of his, not taking any special consideration for Haruhi and her fear of thunderstorms, because he didn't know.
Yeah, and given that Haruhi's, you know, fear of thunderstorms is something that, you know, was very much a, whoa, that's a surprise.
Like,
okay.
Even Tamaki wouldn't have known if he hadn't found her at that specific moment. Yeah.
But yeah, I really liked that, because then the audience is given the opportunity to be tested. Did you listen to Haruhi?
Right. Yes.
And I loved that I didn't actually until the second or third time.
It's that great litmus test, because while we can look at Hikaru and be like, oh no, we would never be so immature. Right. Yeah. This is because it's all played up for comedy.
Exactly.
Right? It's played up because this is anime and we need to make things a bit more extreme, right? But
not exactly.
But the thing is that things like Hikaru's situation, where you don't fully understand or haven't faced or acknowledged your own feelings, and as a result of that, you start to act up.
Yeah.
Oh, people do that all the time.
All the time.
People do that all the time. It just isn't as dramatic and as clear cut and crisp, so that way it gets this nice cathartic resolution by the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then when Haruhi drops the hints, we don't necessarily pick them up all right away. Yeah, that's a good point.
And I loved that the headphones that were put on as basically the innocuous outfit design thing for his I'm a cool guy on a date.
Right.
Ends up being the thing that like basically covers for her thunderstorm, fears. And it's, the music of the, the ED. But I love that because it's, I don't know. It's not something complicated.
So,
but yeah, go
So
for it.
why I love it is because it's poetic, right? One, it's the innocuous detail that you don't necessarily notice that gets used later in a great way.
Yeah.
Cool. But on top of that, when we first see the headphones really be used, right? Not just like part of a design that's, okay, he's got headphones or whatever. But when they're used, it's very much for him sort of wallowing in his own immaturity, right? He's going to shut out the world. He's sulking, right? And no matter what's happening, he's
hurt. He's hurt. Yeah.
Right, he's hurt, and he's processing and all that stuff, right? I was scared for a second that he wasn't going to hear the phone.
Same.
Now, and that would have been that would have been a problem, right?
Well, that would have been great because then maybe the host club would have helped Haruhi, and they would have been like, "Where were you? We were calling you."
Sure. Yeah,
and then
he doesn't get the happy ending.
That would have been horrible. He would have not had the happy ending. He would have realized that he failed her twice.
Yep.
In this case here, well, 3 times actually. But and this one was one where he could have been the one to help her here.
But
too
bad.
No, you were too busy, sulking and stuff. So.
But then when the fact that when he finds her, the very thing that was a not the source, but the way in which he acted out his immaturity, right, is the thing that ended up helping cover for her.
Yeah,
that goes to show that the important lesson of this is because the communication
he can put it aside.
Well, yes, he can put it aside, which is wonderful. It's a tangible object that then he can give up. Right.
Yes.
Which is amazing. I love it. Right. And then the whole idea that then he's hearing the thunderstorms, but it's fine. He's not scared of thunder. Haruhi is, so she needs this, right? Understanding of her needs and things like that. But it's also something where
because she can't hear the apology. Something with that.
Yeah, well, yes. So there's that. No. Oh, this is what it was. Is that neither side is supposed to be perfect.
Oh,
so
right.
So it could be very easy for the sort of lesson of this episode, if it was just Hikaru that was making the mistakes, right, with communication, is that, well, you just need to be perfect at communication. But that's not actually what it is.
No.
It's that you need to make it so that you understand your own weaknesses, failings, and things like that with regards to other people, keep them in check as best you can, and then who knows, maybe your own blind spots might end up being able to cover for someone else's.
Right, and then when you, at the very least, get some kind of a response from someone that says there might be something where you basically stepped over a line and stuff, you can ask questions and see, if they have any feelings or anything that they want to communicate.
Yep.
And this is, some stuff that, always needs to be put in balance. There's no perfect way to do things here. Again, this is not a lesson about how to be a perfect communicator. It's about basically taking time to listen.
Yep.
Listen and then directly communicate. That's it. That's how to be a good communicator, is basically just those two things.
And then the other reason why I love the fact that it's the headphones, and you started to talk about this, but the idea that at the end, the fact that Hikaru apologizes is important, but it's not important with regards to the fact that Haruhi hears it.
Yeah.
Because she knows that he is sorry, right? They've established a better means of communication in this moment.
Yeah.
But it's that Hikaru knows that he needs to do it for himself, right? And we see later that he doesn't actually apologize to Arai because he's still imperfect, right?
Right.
And his pride won't let him, but he accepts the watermelon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he accepts him, right?
Yeah.
So it's that thing of where that side of things that was happening for Hikaru is just for him. Yeah, right. It's not because he wants something from Haruhi or anything like that.
Yeah. To be fair, from Arai's perspective, he did get apologized to.
It's totally, yes. From Arai's perspective, absolutely. Yeah.
But it is one of those things where you go, oh, that never happened actually, though. Arai doesn't know that.
Yeah.
But everyone else does.
Yep.
And then ending the episode with Kyoya and Kaoru being the ones that look down on this whole thing and realize, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's where things are at.
And by the way, Hikaru,
Yeah.
when you give the headphones to her and everything, she ends up thanking you without knowing about your apology, which goes to show that there are ways to, when you demonstrate that you are listening and that you care about the other person's feelings, and you take action to support that, right?
It doesn't need to be in words.
It doesn't need to be in words.
Exactly.
And
Yep.
there you go, right?
Actions speak louder than words. Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, good stuff. Good stuff.
stuff.
And Hikaru being the one that got to be the one to help Haruhi here is fantastic.
Yes.
What I really love about this is that this is going to be now a fear that everyone else knows about in a lot of ways because of this.
Yeah.
So in a net positive kind of bit here, Haruhi now has a lot of people that will be able to be considerate and helpful to her in these moments if they happen again.
Yep.
She doesn't need to basically be vulnerable or communicate that to everyone. This is the benefit of having a friend group where everyone basically cords up together and it's,
Right.
you know, the relationships overlap and you cover for each other's mistakes so that
Exactly.
third parties can step in and resolve, you know, tension and stuff. So
Because-
that's what Tamaki as the leader did here, and I really liked that.
Because Haruhi never actually told people about her fear of thunderstorms. Like, yes, she technically told Tamaki when he saw her cowering in the
That's
closet,
not
right?
that's not anything.
But that's nothing
you know,
special, right?
Right, exactly.
But if not for that chance encounter, her whole interactions with the host club and everything would have been disrupted and put through all kinds of unnecessary stress and strain because she didn't communicate this fear to them. And then as a result, in this situation, nothing would have happened. She would have stayed in that chapel,
And they would probably had to call the police.
yeah,
go
and they
on
would have been
search
like, "What's
and
going
find
on?
her.
We don't know what's happening."
Who knows?
And then yeah,
Yeah.
she would have just had to sit through the whole thing alone
Yeah.
with no headphones.
But
So.
yeah, thankfully we got the happy ending
Right,
here.
because friends can cover for each other.
But not necessarily a happy ending for Kaoru. Because in the desire to help his brother, he might have basically pushed himself aside and, you know, he does like Haruhi.
But I will say,
Yeah.
Haruhi does know that Kaoru was doing these kinds of things.
That's true. That's true.
you
Now,
know.
a lot of it was also, scheming, conniving, and all that.
Definitely.
Conniving fellow to,
Yes.
doll her up in that specific way with the maids, and then,
Oh yeah, and
do
the
switch
apology
and-
for Hikaru, and
know?
yeah, oh god, that was
I
so
have to
good.
socially distance now.
Oh my god, that was
It must
amazing.
be you.
It's you go on.
Yeah.
You take my place. Just, I can't.
It's adorable, and it shows the care and
Yep.
attention that he has for his brother. But it also shows a similar thing to where he's like Haruhi, in that he maybe doesn't think as much about himself in these instances and sacrifices a bit of his own wants, needs, and desires for others.
Now
And
he was
maybe those people don't necessarily deserve it, which is very noble
Possibly.
in some ways. But
Yeah.
I mean,
the twins will have to split up eventually.
well, split up,
Split up. When I say split up, I mean
walk their own path.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's still like parallel and very close, but
Right.
separate.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
like, yeah.
It's a 3-inch separation.
It's like they're like this, and they've been like this their whole life. They go in like a 2-degree like split, like eek, and they're like, oh my god, what is this?
Ah, no, the pain.
Yeah.
But why? But why? But great kind of using the town, the new character of Arai as a backdrop for this
Yes.
kind of communication drama. Love it. Great stuff. Ouran High School Host Club, fantastic show. Good stuff. So, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us and the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.